கற்றல். ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी हरि प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I welcome all of you to today's Mādhurya Kādambinī class. So in the last class we were discussing the second aparada. That means considering the names of the other demigods like Lord Shiva and Brahma are equal to or independent of the names of the Lord Vishnu. So in that regard, that means Shiva Sri Vishnu. So based that aparada we are discussing in the Anardhinivritti. So today we'll be continuing that Anardhinivritti and finish as, and also we'll be seeing the different levels of the purification of the anarthas, how these four kinds of the anarthas are get purified, and also some special points. Those also will be just looking into. As we discussed, so Ishvara Chaitanyam is two types. One is the Maya Sparsha Rahitam, and another one is Maya Sparisa Sahita. So who is the example for the Maya Sparsha Rahita? That is Vishnu and Samsha Sadar, Matsya Varaha Kurma and so on. And Maya Sparsha Sahitam. So for that we can give example as Shiva. So Ishvara Chaitanyam in this way, two types. And Jiva Chaitanyam is also said as it is also two types. In Jiva Chaitanyam, which is Jiva Chaitanyam is two types. One is Avidya Anavruta or Avidya Avruta. So Avidya Avruta, that Jiva is Devata Manusha Tiryak. And Avidya Anavruta, that is also once again categorized into two. So Anividya Anavruta. And Avidya Anavruta where Ishwar Shakti Avishta, Ishwar Shakti Anavishta. So like that, Avidya Anavruta is that Jiva is once again categorized into two. So Avidya Anavruta. Avidya Anavruta. So Jiva is categorized into two. Ishwar Shakti Avishta, Ishwar Shakti Anavishta. Ishwar Shakti द्वारा अनाविष्ट माने और अविद्या से अनावृत और ईश्वर शक्ति से अनाविष्ट वो जीव तो क्या है? So what is that Jiva? So that Jiva is which is liberated through the Jnana process and which attained the Nirguna Brahma. So then that is also Ishvara Shakti Anavishta but Avidya Anavrita. And another is that Jiva, so by doing the Bhakti Sadhana, so got the liberation from this material world. Liberation means so it is completely is out of this avidya. So that is another category. So like this is two are there. And next Ishvara Shakti Avishta, Avidya Navrit. What is another category? Ishvara Shakti Avishta. So that is what? So what kind of Ishvara Shakti is Avishta? That means Avishta means so is given actually to that Jiva. So What is that? That's a Chidamsha Bhuta Gnana Shakti. That means where the Chit Shakti, that means Gnana Shakti is given to that Jivatma. So then that is known as, that means Gnana Shakti Avishta Avidya Anavruta so Jivatma. Who are those examples? Sanakadis. And Ishwar Shakti Avishta. So one more Shakti is what? Srishti Shakti. Example Srishti Shakti. That is that Shakti is Mayam Subhutam. It's part and parcel of the Maya Shakti. But that is a Srishti Shakti. And that is given to the Brahmaji. So then that is also Ishwar Shakti Avishta Avidya Anavrita Jivatma. So like this. So we just in brief we discussed this table, and also we are going to see the remaining things in this. That table already I shared with all of you. It is also there in the book. Okay. Begging them to give them. So any question? Ramcharan, you are raising.
Can you tell book page number?
Yes, Prabhu. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, in that chart, like when it was saying when this avidya anavrata and it is Ishwar Shakti anavishta. So then it says the jnana sadhaka nirgun brahm athva sagun brahma leen. That is nindaniya. That is basically like not really appreciated. So nirgun brahm, I understand that like it's basically like the impersonal Brahman. When he says sagun brahm, what does that mean? Is it like a personal form, like or like what is
Sagun Brahma means personal form.
So here it says Sagun Brahma Leen. That is also basically like criticize Nindaniya here. Because in the table there is another category which is Bhakti Sadhaka, that is Slaghniya, which is, I understand that for devotees because they are relishing Namrup Gun Lila. But Sagun Brahma Leen Nindaniya, like that I didn't understand.
So Saguna Brahmaleen means what it means. So some Jivatmas, they go and merge into the body of the Lord.
Is that different from
Sahaja Mukti is also two types. Merging into the Brahman and merging into the body of the Lord. That is also not recommended actually. So merging into the body of the Lord where there is no service.
So merging the body of the Lord, Prabhu, like I never heard it. Like means like when it merged, what happened? The living entity, like because in impersonal Brahman, I could see, but
then it will lose its existence. It will not upasya upasaka bheda will not be there.
Like so we can say Shishupal did get that one, like merging into
Shishupal actually he got the Salokya Mukti. So some muktis actually, some examples are there. It is there. It is also Sahaja Mukti is two types. Merging into the Brahman or merging into the body of the Lord.
Okay, bro. So one more question was to like this here avidya avrata. So this avidya is the original avidya that we are basically like talking about, and then there is a avidya mentioned in like third canto chapter 28 and verse number 18 where Brahmaji created the avidyas. Is that different or the same thing which basically manifests here?
That is just to attach the body with the Jivatma. So some that is a secondary creation actually. This before secondary creation also, Jivatma is accompanied with the Jivatma is covered with the avidya. So in the secondary creation, something Brahmaji for creation purpose he needs for attaching the body to that. So some components, that's avidya, 5 types avidya he creates. But before that means when Jivatma is in the Karanamnusaya Vishnu, at that time also Jivatma is covered with the avidya.
So they are different or the same thing, just manifesting at two different
They are
phases?
all components of the Maya only. They are all components of the Maya. That's Abhiranga Shakti. Even avidya is there in the spiritual world also, but that is a component of Antaranga Shakti.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
Prabhuji, page number can you tell in the book? Like?
Yes, bro. I am opening. In Hindi, I am seeing in Hindi, Prabhu, so I will tell that.
Hindi only.
Yeah.
Somehow I don't know why. Is the sound is too much, Puji?
No, Prabhu, it's fine.
Somehow I don't know. The page numbers are not much distant in an English of Mādhurya Kādambinī by Narayan Maharaj, and then these page numbers which you are saying in Hindi.
The same?
Not same, 2-3 pages this way, that way.
Yeah. Thank you. So we were discussing that Ishvara, Shiva and Ishvara, that means Supreme Lord Vishnu, these Gunavataras. This point we were discussing. This page number is 171. PDF number, if you see, 193. PDF is 193. So in this so there we have seen Tatra Pradhamam Sarva Vyapakam Ishvarakyam Ditiyam Dehama. It's done actually. So Ishvara is Sarva Vyapi and Jiva is the Deha Vyapi. And Ishwar Chaitanya is once again two types. So Maya Sparsha Rahitam and Maya Sparsha Sahitam. And those examples are for the Maya Sparsha Rahitam is Vishnu and Maya Sparsha Sahitam, that's Shiva. So examples also given. And just Vishnu only, just for the sake of destruction, he is taking, that means the form of the Shiva. That means so potencies are reduced in that Ishvara Shakti and allowing Maya to touch him so that the activity will be done, the destruction activity. So that is the thing we discussed. Example is given from the quotation is given from Brahma Samhita. Shiram yathadadi vikara vishesha yoga sanjayite nadu tada pradakastita. That means this Ishvara, Vishnu, Shiva is also Ishvara Tattva only. It's not different from the Vishnu, but there is a difference also is there. So that is the difference is potencies are reduced, say there. So Maya is able to touch that Ishvara Chaitanya. So that was the discussion previous class. So now today we are going to continue. Why Radharani Mata is asking link? 1 second, bro.
Prabhuji, Shiva's potencies are reduced so that Maya can touch. Can we put the word as Maya can touch or Shiva can touch Maya? There is a difference between Maya touching Shiva and Shiva touching voluntarily.
Yes,
Swikrita.
Maya can influence that. Touch means influence.
So Shiva gets influenced.
Yes. By the Maya. Yes, Prabhu. Brahma Ishvara Shakti. So now you will be seeing about the case of the Brahmaji. Anyatra cha Puranaagamadishu Bahutra Ishvaratvena Prasiddhesche Yattu Sattum Rajastam iti Prakruter Gunah Ityatra Sthityade Harivirinchi Arahi Ityanena Tat Sadharanyat Brahmanyapi Ishvaratvam Avagamyate. So Brahmaji also Ishvara. We can call Brahmaji also Ishvara. So why Brahmaji is also called as Ishvara? So we have the reference that means Sattum Rajastam iti. We all know, everyone know that. Sattum Rajastama iti Prakruter Gunaha Taihi Yuktaha Paraha Purusha Ekaiha Siddhate Sthityade Harivirinchi Hareti Sangyaha Shreyamsi Tatra Kalu Sattva Tanoha Pranamsihu. So here last class also we discussed. So only one Purusha and he is accepting the these three forms Hari Virinchi Hara for the sake of creation, maintenance and destruction. So using the Sattva Rajastama by these three gunas, but out of these three, which is the auspicious Sattva Tanoho, that means the Vishnu form is only is auspicious. That is the statement. So based upon statement, this we are seeing these three are as a Gunavataras as the controllers of this nature. So that's why Brahmaji is also called as Ishvara. Tada Ishwaram Ishvara Avesha. So Brahmanyapi Ishwaratvam Avagamyate. Tad Ishwaravesha Deva iti Gneyam. So Brahmaji is also called as Ishvara. Because why Brahmaji also is called as Ishvara? So that means Jiva is given with the potency of the some potency, that means Maya Shakti is given, creating power is given to that Jivatma. So that power is given by the Lord. So because of that, so this Jivatma is acting in a special way, is acting as a secondary creator. So that's why it is also known as Ishvara. But we are now trying to see these demigods, that means Ishvara and the Shiva and the Brahma, how they are, that means different, and how they are similar with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that one can avoid the second offense. So next, Bhaswan Yathashma Sakaleshu Nijeshu Tejasvi Kiyat Prakatayat Chipitad. So Jagadanda, Jagad Anda Vidhana Karta. So here the secondary creator Brahma Ya Eva Jagadanda Vidhana Karta. So Brahma Samhita is also giving the same. So reference that Brahmaji is also Ishvara. So that's the only main point is here. Nothing much is there. Just we should understand that. So Brahmaji is also Jagadisha. Like you see, when we see in the case of Atri Muni also, when he was doing the meditation, he was meditated on the controller of this universe. So Jagadishwara. So Jagadishwara Prasanna ho jaye. That means Jagadishwar may be pleased by my austerity. So with that mantra, so Jagadishwara may be pleased, Jagadishwara may be pleased. So he was uttering this mantra actually. So with this mantra only he did the meditation, Atri Muni. So then after that, so what happened? So based upon generally in the case of any Anushtana, mantra is powerful than the bhava. So that's why, but of course he is having the some bhava, but he is asking only one Lord will come and give the child, but mantra he uttered the Jagadishwara. So just I am giving example. So by hearing that mantra, so three, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, both, all three came, and also three came and they asked, so why you call, so what do you want? Then he said that I want only one son, but why you three came? So then they said, you called Jagadishwara to come. So we are all Jagadishwaras. So that's why just I'm giving this as an example. So all these are all Jagadishwaras, but there is also difference. So that difference also we can see, like this example is given in the same second canto, second chapter, first canto. Pardhiva daruno dhumas tasmad agnistrayimaya. So tamasastu rajas tasmat sattvam yad brahma darshanam ityatra tamasah sakshat rajasah shreshtyephi vastutah rajasas dhumastaniye shuddha tejasthaniyasya ishwarasya anupalabdescha. So if we see the meaning of this sloka, Pardhiva dharuno dhumas where is that sloka? Anyway, it is there. Pardhivat dharunah dhumah tasmad agnihi trayimaya and tamasastu rajaha tasmat sattvam yad brahma darshanam. Actually, we see what we are seeing, this one Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. So he accepted Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, and based upon these three, so he got the notations of Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. So to make us understand the difference between these three, so that means these three gunas, and these three gunas, there is a difference. So who is worshipable? That means Vishnu is only worshipable among these three. So that to make us to understand, so this example is given in that. If we see the main book concept, Mula. So Pardhivat dharuno dhuma tasmad agnistrayimaya tamasastu rajas tasma sattvam yad brahma darshanam. This is to make us to understand the difference between these three avatars, guna avatars. Pardhivat darunah. Pardhiva means wood. Pardhivat darunah dhumaha. So darunah means wood. Pardhiva means which is coming from the earth. So that wood is coming from the earth. Darunaha. So dhumaha. So from the wood, smoke is better. Tasmad agnihi. Compared to that, smoke, Agni is superior. What is that Agni? Agni is Trayimaya. Trayimaya means this Agni is directly useful to perform the sacrifice. When we want to conduct any yajna, so we need the fire. So in the fire we should put that ajam. That's avish, whatever avish or ajam. So the ghee is put into the fire. And at that time, dhuma is also, that means smoke is not useful, or otherwise directly you cannot put on the wood. Similarly, same way, tamasaha. So in the place of the wood, we should take the tamoguna. In the place of the smoke, we should take the rajoguna. In the place of agni, that means fire, we should take the sattva. So yad brahma darshanam, that means by which we can get the realization of the Brahman. So Brahman can be realized by the sattva guna only. Like by the fire only we can perform the yajna. The same way, by the sattva guna only one can see the Brahman. Sattvam yad brahma darshanam. So that's why sattva guna is superior to the rajoguna, and the rajoguna is superior to the tamoguna. Ityatra. So this is the meaning of sloka actually. In this sloka, tamasaha sakashat rajah sreshtyepi vastutaha rajasi dhumastani. So that means rajoguna is better than the tamoguna. Like smoke is superior to the wood. Superior means if you see in the progressive way, that means fire is directly useful for the sacrifice. So then in that way, if you see, then definitely smoke is the just nearby stage of the fire. So in that way, smoke is superior to the wood. So like that, so Rajoguna is more closer to Satuguna than the Tamoguna. So in that way, so Rajoguna is superior to Tamoguna is said here. Tamasaha sakashat rajasaha shreshtyupi vastutah, but of course Rajoguna is superior to the Tamoguna. Api, even though, so vastutah, in fact, Rajasi Dhumasthaniye Shuddha Tejasthaniyasya Ishwarasya Anupalabdescha. But by we cannot get the darshan, that means we cannot realize the Brahman by being by being or by influenced by the Rajoguna. So that's not possible. Of course, it is superior to the Tamoguna, but it is not directly useful to get the darshan of the Lord. That means Brahma, not Lord, that's Brahman. Sattvam yad Brahma darshanam. Like Sattuguna, if one is situated in the Sattuguna, he can get the darshan of the Brahman. That means he can realize the Brahman. So, but Rajoguna, even if it is so superior to Tamoguna, but there is no pure fire in that. So that's why Ishvara, that means one cannot realize Supreme Lord by the Rajoguna. Satve samjwalanagnav suddha tejasah sakshad iva parthive darunasthaniye tamasasyapi tasya antarhitatayopalabdhir astyeva. But here one way we should see, even in the case of the wood, of course, wood is not directly useful to get the useful to perform the sacrifice. But wood is in wood also fire is there in the hidden form, and in the hidden form. In the same way, we should understand that even in the deep ignorance, there is tattvam. That means, what is that? In the deep ignorance, there is a tattvam. What is this point? Like in the wood, we can understand that there is fire. Similarly, in the deep ignorance also, there is tattvam. How to realize from the deep ignorance, how to understand there is a tattvam. Like when we go to the sushupti is due to deep tamoguna. So and Jagruta Avastha is due to Sattva-guna. Swapnika Avastha is due to, that means dreaming state. Awakening state is due to Sattva-guna. And dreaming state is due to Rajoguna. And whoever is in the mode of Rajoguna, they will be getting the dreams. So awakening means is a Sattva-guna actually. That is happening due to the influence of Sattva-guna. And Tamoguna means if one goes into the deep ignorance, so then one will be entering into the Sushupti. So what I am saying here, Tatkarya Sushuptau, that means Tamoguna's effect is what? Sushupti. Tatkarya means Tamoguna's result. What is the result of the Tamoguna, deep Tamoguna? So deep ignorance. So that is Sushupti. So Sushuptau Nirbeda Gnana Sukhanubhava Iva. That means, like you see, we are able to see the fire in the wood. How in the same way we can see, also we can see the tattvam. Tattvam is there. That means, so tattvam is there in the tamoguna also. In the tamoguna, not in the tamoguna, but in the effect of the tamoguna. Tattvam can be understood. In the effect of the tamoguna, tattvam can be understood. What is the effect of tamoguna? That is Sushupti. So in the Sushupti, we can understand tattvam. How to understand? So that is easy, very easy. After getting up from the Sushupti, what kind of realization we are getting? So I was happy. So we were getting the a feeling. Actually, we are remembering. We were remembering our experience, whatever we got in that deep sleep state. So what is that? That is, I was happy. We were saying, I was happy. That means we are not happy now after getting up. I was happy, but nakinchid avedisham. But I don't know anything. I was not knowing anything at that time. So because that is happening, because at that time Jivatma is completely disconnected from the mind, and also from the ego, and from the subtle and gross bodies. So because of that, there is no connection. Jivatma is not at all having any connection with this physical or the subtle body and all. That's why, so we are not able to relate what happened at that time. So in reference to this existing world, in reference to the existing world, what happened in that dreaming state, we are not able to know. That is because there is no connection between the Jivatma and this physical and the subtle, that means gross and the subtle bodies, and also external world. And but we are saying that I was happy, I was happy. So where then, if we are not even in the way, even in the state, we were not connected to this present, so existing world, but still we were feeling the happiness. That means Jivatma is full of bliss, which is not different from the Brahma Jyoti, Brahman. So in this way, one can, from the effect of the tamoguna, so by the experience of this bliss, so one can understand. That means understand the tattvam, the way, so we can see the fire in the wood. Okay. Any questions? Of course, I think it's very clear for all of you. So I'm in the. Okay, next, avidya avrita. So now we'll come to the Jiva Tattvam. So Ishvara Tattvam, that means for your understanding, that means Ishvara Tattvam. Of course, Ishvaras, of course, Brahmaji also sometimes we call as Ishvara, but actually there is a difference. And that difference is clearly understood. Next, Ata Ishitavyam Chaitanyam Cha Swa Dasha Bhedena Dvidam. So Jiva Chaitanyam is controlled. Ishitavyam means is being controlled. Jiva Chaitanyam is being controlled. It is these two types. So what is that? Avidyaya avritam anavritam cha. One is covered by the avidya and which is not covered by the avidya. So they're like these two types. So Jivatma covered by the avidya are, who are the example? The demigods, human beings, and the animals, and so on. So all these creatures who are in the now ignorance and identifying themselves as body. So those are all the examples for the jivas which are covered by the avidya. And anavritam, then we'll come to the next category. So jivatmas which are not covered by the avidya. So those are, so once again categorized into two. So that means in this, what is the two categories? So these jivatmas are given with the potency and not given with the potency. So now given with the so jivatmas which are not given with the potency and also not covered by the, that means they are coming under the category of jivatmas are not covered by the avidya. So who are those then? So and also not given with the energy, that is nothing but the liberated souls. That means they are liberated by the Jnana Marga and the Yoga Marga. So that means they might be merged into the Brahman by the Jnana Marga, and they may be merged into the Supreme Lord. So that means who will be getting the merging into the Brahman? That is by the Jnanis. And who will be merging into the body of the Lord? So that is yogis. When they do yogis meditation on the Supreme Lord, so then what will happen? So they may desire the Saija, Salokya, Samipya, Sarishti, and Sarupya. So this kind of five muktis, they also, that, and at that time yogi is meditating on the Paramatma and he wants to merge into the body of the Lord. So that is the Ishvara Saijam. And Yajnanis, they go and merge into the Brahman, that is Brahma Saijam. And like this, you can have the two types of the Sahajyam, and that is the, so one, that means one kind of the one kind of the Jivatma which is not covered by the avidya. And the second kind is, so who are so doing the bhakti and getting the spiritual body, and they are also free from the avidya. So that is the second category of the under the what? Jivatma, which is not given with the is some special potencies. Okay, next Jivatma, which is given with the special potencies and which is not covered by the avidya. So that is, once again, we are seeing as two types. So Jivatmas, so which are given with the Gnana Shakti of the Lord. Examples are the Sanakadis. That means Chitam Shabhuta Gnanadibhir and Mayam Shabhuta Sushtyadibhischa. That means some Jivatmas which are so given with the so Gnana Shakti. So those are the Sanakadis, and Jivatmas which are not given with the Gnana Shakti, those are the Brahmadi. That means Dvitiyam Brahma. So this is just this classification is given for us to understand that second offense, so that can be avoided by us. So this is the table, clearly is finally finalized. So this Ishwar Chaitanya, Ishwara is anyway explained, and this is Jiva, and this is once again two types, and Avidya Anavruta and Avidya Avruta. So Avidya Avruta is the so demigods, human beings, and this is this. And Avidya Anavruta, once again categorized into two. So Ishwara Dwara Anavisht, that means which is not covered by the Ishwara Shakti, which are not given with the Ishwara Shakti, which are given with the Ishwara Shakti, like these two types, and which are Ishwara Anavishta, that means Ishwara Shakti is not given there. So that's like that is also once again two types. That means which are liberated through the Gnana Marga and which are liberated through the Yoga Marga. So like this, we have the two, and both are not recommended. And once again, Jivatma is completely freed from the avidya through the process of the bhakti, and which is appreciated. So that is the devotees. So this is the one category. So like this, so in this branch we have two, and if you come to this branch, that's avidya anavruta. So in the another this branch, if you see Ishwar Shakti is given, so in the form of the Gnana Shakti. So those who are the examples, Sanakadis and Ishwar Shakti. So in the form of, that means Mayam Shabhutam, that means Srishti Shakti is given. So example is the Brahmaji. So like that, you can have even many categories in this, like, so Lord is giving the some Bhakti Shakti and Lord is giving the some this, like that. We can have several categories. Of course, all are coming under the category of the so Jivas. So next, so evam cha Vishnu Sivayoho Aveda eva prasaktas Chaitanyika Rupyat. So if you see in the form of the Chaitanyam, so both are the Ishwaras. So here, what is the point? Vishnu and Shiva, those are one way they are not different, because the same Ishvara Shakti is accepting this form, that means Maya Sparsha. So then it is called as Shiva. So in that way, there is no difference. That means this Ishvara Shakti is not different from the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why here it is said that Vishnu Shivayoh Abhedaha Eva Prasaktas Chaitanyika Rupatvat. In the form of Chaitanya, it means in the form of the Ishvara Shakti, both are same. So Nishkamaihi Upasyatvan Upasyatvetu Nirgunatva Sagunatva Abhyasam Abhyam Eva Ityavagantavyam. So here Nishkamaihi, that means whoever is not desiring any. So we can see in that Bhagavatam also, what is said here, Mumukshvah Goro Rupan Hitva Bhutapati Nada Narayana Kalashantaha Bhajanti Hyanasuyavaha. So the people who are not in the influence of the modes, so who are not influenced by the Rajas and Tamoguna, they are the people who are not influenced by the gunas. They will be worshipping the Vishnu form, Nirguna. That means completely, that means Vishnu is completely beyond the modes. His form is completely beyond the modes. And they will be worshipping that means same Ishvara Chaitanyam. Ishvara Chaitanyam is the same, but who are beyond the modes, they will be attracted to the form which is beyond the modes, that is Vishnu. And people who are influenced by the modes, they will be attracted to the form which is accepting the modes, that Ishvara is what? That is a Shiva. So that's why we are seeing the reference from the Bhagavatam also. Rajastama prakruteha samashila bhajanti vai pitrubhuta prajeshadin shriyaishwarya prajepsavaha. So the people who are influenced by the Rajas and Tamas, they will be worshipping whom? Pitru Ishaha. Pitru Ishaha means that's Prajapatis. Who are the Prajapatis? That's a Brahmaji is a Prajapati. So original Prajapati. So that means the first Prajapati. So people who are in the mode of Rajoguna, who are influenced by the Rajoguna, they will be worshipping the Ishvara in the form of Brahmaji. And people who are in the influenced by the mode of ignorance, they will be worshipping the, so sorry, not Pitrisha, so Prajesha, sorry. So next Bhutesh. So people who are influenced by the Rajo Tamoguna, so they will be worshipping Bhutesh. Who is the Bhutesh? Bhutesh Mahadev. So Bhutesh is Shiva. So that's why they are worshipping the Supreme Lord in the form of Shiva, actually. So that's why here it's Nishkamaihi upasyatva anupasyatvetu nirgunatva sagunatva abhyam eva ityavagantavyam. So based upon our influence of the modes, so we will be attracted to the certain form of the Ishvara. So this is a point. Next, Vishnu Brahmadyostu Veda eva Chaitanya Partakyadeva. So, but in the case of the Vishnu and Brahma, so Chaitanya Padartha is also different actually. So Vishnu is Ishvara Chaitanyam and Brahmaji is Jiva Chaitanyam. That means Ishitavya Chaitanyam, Jiva Chaitanyam. So in this way, Chaitanyam is also different here. But in the case of the Shiva and Vishnu, Chaitanyam is same, but the only difference is Maya is touched one place, in one case. That's why the difference we should clearly understand in between the Brahma and Shiva. So Kvachittu Suryasya Tadavishta Suryakanta Manehe Abheda iva Vishnu Brahmanoho Abhedascha Purana Vachineshu Drishtaha. So some places we will be seeing, so Brahmaji is also non-different from the Vishnu. Vishnu Brahmanoho Abhedascha Purana Vachineshu Drishtaha. Some sentences of the Puranas we were seeing that Brahmaji is non-different from the Vishnu. So why it is said like that? Because the sun rays are Tadavishta Suryakanta Maneha Abheda. Suryasya Tadavishta Suryakanta Maneha Abheda. Sometimes we can say Suryakanta Mani and Surya as not different. So seeing the Suryakanta Mani, one may say it is Surya. So what is the meaning of Suryakanta Mani? So Suryakanta Mani is the one where it is shining like the sun. If you keep anywhere that, so what it will be? So it will be creating the heating effect actually. And Chandrakanta Mani. So Chandrakanta Mani means what? So it will be creating the cooling effect. It will be giving the cooling effect. So example, if you take a fire and if you keep in that fire Chandrakanta Mani, or if you touch that fire, then you will not get burned. And once again, now if you keep the Suryakanta Mani, then it will burn. So this is the Suryakanta Mani and Chandrakanta Mani. So anyway, so Suryakanta Mani is also sometimes known as Surya, because the power of the Surya is entering into that Mani. So that's why in that sense, in that general usage, you'll be seeing that Suryakanta Mani as a Surya. Similarly, Lord's potency, that means creating power of the Lord, is given to the Jivatma. So sometimes in that sense, we can also see Brahmaji as non-different from the Vishnu in some statements of the Puranas. So Kincha Kochit Mahakalpe Sivopi Brahmaiva Ishvara Avishta Jivaiva Bhavet. And one more point, we should not think that all the time Shiva is only the Ishvara Chaitanya. No, sometimes in some kalpas, in some Mahakalpas, so even Shiva also can be Jiva like Brahmaji. So Ishvara, that's Jiva only can be becoming Ishvara. Yaduktam, that is also said, Kvachit Jiva Visheshatvam Harasyoktam Videriveti Atayeva Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Daivataha Samatvena Manyate Sa Pashandi Bhavedruvam. So Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is said, Kvachit Jiva Visheshatvam Harasya Uktam Videhe. Kvachit means in some times or some places, Jiva Visheshatvam, a special Jiva is becoming the Hara. Hara means Shiva. Harasyoktam Videhe. So this is also possible actually. So ultimately what is here, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is clarifying. So in the Puranas we are seeing some statements like equality. So in the what sense do we have to see the equalness between these, and it is said in what sense it is said is making clear. So next, Ateva Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivataihi Samatvena Manyate Sa Pashandi Bhave Dhruvam. So that's why Hari Bhakti Vilas, it is said that whoever is taking Narayana is equal to the Brahma and Rudra. So there are Pashandi. Pashandi. So Bhave Dhruvam, he is a Pashandi. That means externally he is acting as a devotee, but actually he is not internally devotee. So that's a Pashandi. He is Pakhandi, whatever we say in other languages. The false, as a false pretender, actually pretender. So false pretender. He's a pretender actually. So he is not a devotee, he is a pretender. So that is the point. So that's why Hari Bhakti Vilasa is saying that in this way. So there is a difference. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, so only this Pashandi, this is because sometimes Lord Shiva is a Jiva. That's why you cannot equate Lord Shiva with Lord Vishnu. Is that the understanding? Here, the explanation that you gave.
Yeah. So here is Hari Bhakti Vilas is saying in general, Yastu Narayanam Devam. That means even in the case of Seva is not different from the Vishnu, only sense of the Ishwar Chaitanya. But still there is a difference also is there because Maya Sparsha is there. So, and also that's why we are seeing, already we discussed from the that second chapter. So Tamo, Rajas and Sattva, they are accepting respectively these three gunas. So that's why here Shiva is accepting the Tamoguna means he is, and also Maya Sparsha is there means Tamoguna is touching him. So he is controller of the Tamoguna and he is accepting that, and he is also touched by the Maya means so there is influence of the Tamoguna. So then that's why the Tamoguna is inferior to Rajoguna, where Sattva is superior to the Rajoguna, which is directly accessible, which is directly accessing this Brahma Darshan. The point what I want to mention, so even in that case also, Ishwar Chaitanya, if you take Ishwara, like Lord Shiva, so still he is different from the Vishnu. So that's why Sattva Tano Nunam Sihu. So Seyamsi Khalu Tatar Sattva Tano Nunam Sihu. So which form we should worship? Only Vishnu is said. So that's why there is a difference. So finally, it is a overall conclusion. This Hari Bhakti Vilas statement is for all the cases. So not only just in the case of the so Shiva, when he becomes the Jiva, so then only we should consider the difference, and otherwise it's similar. No, that's not point. But all the time, so this Brahma and Shiva both are definitely so different from the, they are not equal. They are not equal to the Narayana. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devataha. So it is general statement. Whoever is making equal. So Brahma and Shiva with the Narayana. So Saha, that person, Pashandi Bhavet, he will be so Pashandi.
Thank you.
Yeah. Iti Vachanamapi Brahma Sahacharyena Sangachete iti. So this we should apply to the so Brahmaji and also Shiva. Yes.
Prabhuji, Pashandi means what?
Pretender.
Oh. The meaning of Pashandi is a pretender, huh?
So next, evam aparyalochayatam Vishnoh eva Ishvara. Evam aparyalochayatam Vishnoh iva Ishvaraha na Shivaha. Shive eva Vishnoreva Ishvaraha na Shivaha. Shiva eva Ishvaraha na Vishnuhu. Na Vishnuhu. Vayam ananya naiva pashyamaha. Shivam vayam cha na Vishnu. Ananya naiva pashyamaha. Shivam vayam cha na Vishnum ityadi vivadagrasta matinam aparade jate kalena kadachit tat tatparyalochana vijnana sudajana praboditve teshameva sivasya bhagavatsvarupad abhinnatvena labdhitanam nama kirtaneneva aparadakshayaha. Finally, what he's saying here. So some people, so who are committing offense, how they are committing offense? Vishnuhu eva Ishvaraha. Vishnu is only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Na Shivaha, not the Shiva. Okay? And Shiva eva Ishvaraha. Shiva is only Supreme Personality of Godhead. Na Vishnu, not the Vishnu. So evam aparya lochayatam. So evam aparyalochitam. Aparyalochayatam. So aparyalochayatam. So in this way they are not thinking. So that means Vishnu is only the Ishvara, not the Shiva, or Shiva only Ishvara, not the Vishnu. So na Vishnu vayam ananya neva. One second. Ityadi. Shivam vayam cha na Vishnum. So what he is saying here, so Vivada Grastamatinam. What kind of Vivada? Vivada Grastamatinam means they have the quarrelsome. That means what kind of quarrelsome? So what is that? Vishnu is only the Ishvara, not the Shiva. Okay. And Shiva is only the Ishvara, not the Vishnu. So Vayam Ananyan Eva. Ananyan Eva. Mane? So we don't want to see others, only one. Ananyan eva pashyamaha. Shivam vayam cha. So na Vishnum. So we will worship only Shiva. So not the Vishnu. or otherwise we will be worshipping only Vishnu, not the Shiva. So this kind of quarrelsome whoever is maintaining, so they will be committing the offense. So Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying the Shiva and worshipping only Vishnu is also offense, and completely disconnecting the Vishnu and only worshipping Shiva. So they have the fighting actually. So they are not understanding the original position of the both, the proper position of the both, and simply they are like example. If you see in the case of the these parties, the both parties, so few are in support of the Daksha and few are in support of the Shiva. So then there is offense actually. There is offense. So each other they cursed actually. They are exclusively following the one and not seeing the connection between both. The Ishvara Chaitanyam is existing in the both in the way, in that way both are same. And also there is a differences there. So that kind of subtlety, not understanding and accepting only one form and worshipping that, so then that will happen. That means we are worshipping the Vishnu and we are completely disconnecting the Shiva and not understanding the position of the Shiva and not respecting, then that is also offense actually. So that we discussed also in the other places what happened in that case. So that what kind of curse is given, that means not respecting the Shiva. So Nandishwara, so they gave the curse. Those will be not at all getting the, those will be the offenders actually. And that is, so worshipping only Vishnu and they will not be getting the, and disrespecting the Shiva. So disrespecting the Shiva, and that is, they will become the Pakhandis. And also worshipping the only Shiva and not respecting the Vishnu. So that is also, they are also cursed. So this kind of curse we have seen in the previously, in the previous sections. So same point is mentioned here. Vivada krastamatinam aparadhe jate. So aparadhe jate. So in that way, so there is a aparada, that means offense. Kalena kadachit tatparyalochana. So but somehow kadachit means sometime, sometime. So tatparyalochana vigna sadhujana prabodhitve. So who can clearly explain this? The, if someone offended, so and someone considered only one and they worship and they did the offense. So in their case, if someone is coming into their life and some sadhu, so giving the teachings about sadhu jana prabodhitya, that means sadhu, that means saintly people. So they are teaching about the reality, the fact. So between these two tattvas, so between these two tattvas, so then what will tesham eva, so Shiva tesham, then Shivasya Bhagavad Swarupad Abhinnatvena. So then they are understanding Shiva, that means these worshippers of Vishnu, and also they are understanding the Shiva is not different from the Lord actually. And so tesham eva Shivasya Bhagavad Swarupad Abhinnatvena. So they are not different. Shiva is not different from the Lord, is because that is also Ishvara Tattvam. And so that labda pratita nam, so like that they got the knowledge nama kirtanena, and also that means they should get the understanding, so how to come out from this offense. If someone offended the Shiva, or so that means he's worshipping the Vishnu and he offended the Shiva, and he is simply disconnecting, that means disrespecting the Shiva. So then what will happen? And not seeing the Shiva as that means as non-different from the Vishnu. So in that kind of offense, so how to come out? So when first of all he has to learn from the sadhus about the reality, And also Nama Sankirtanenaiva, that means by the, so chanting the holy names only, aparadha kshayaha, this offense is finished. Yeah, now you can ask questions. Yes. Yes, Gopi Jan Prabhu.
Prabhuji, it is said that here I was reading that Sadashiva is Nirguna, and he resides the spiritual planets.
Yes, Prabhu.
So can we equate that to the Brahma Samhita Maheshadama?
Yes. That's a Golok Gokul Chandra Prabhu. So he also, I think in that picture he mentioned that he pictorially represented that with thorough research. It's a Mahesh Dhama.
Devi Mahesha Haridama Suteshu Teshu.
Yeah.
So the in the Devi Dhama, the same Shiva comes as a Rudra who is affected with the guna, but in the Mahesha Dhama, he is as a and that same Shiva.
Mahesh Dhama, actually, that chart you have Prabhu, that chart. I'm not exactly remembering actually. That sloka you are saying, yeah. I'm not remembering, Prabhu. But Sadasiva is in the above the spiritual world, in the about, and that is so here Manidweep is there, in material world Manidweep, there Devi will be residing, and also in the spiritual world Devi is there, that Devi is different, and this in the Manidweep Devi will be only females will be there, and also here also in the material world Shiva's abode also is there, Kailash, or we say that is known as Mahesh.
Yeah, I think that Sadasiva Lok is not called Mahesh Lok. I think that is this side of the village.
Like Brahmaji is also residing in the Satyaloka. He is also on the Sumeru, on the center. He will be residing. So he's having resorts. They will be having many houses actually. In the many places they reside. In this, there are good places there. They will build their house. These demigods, and they will be staying here also sometime. And there, Varun Loka is also in the many places. Varun Lok is also in the many places, and Shiva's Kailash is also there in the Bhumandal. Also there is a Kailash Everest. So on the Mount Everest. So Kailash is there. On the Sumeru also some places there like that.
Can you allow me to share, or can I share it?
Yeah, Prabhu.
So are you referring to this one, Prabhuji?
Yes.
It is beyond the Brahma Jyoti.
Yes. This is beyond
Mahesh
Brahma.
Dhamma.
This is
And
written what?
beyond
I'm
this
not
Mahesh Dhamma is Haridamas.
Yeah.
And beyond the Haridama, it is Goloka.
Yeah. The Brahma Jyoti, yes. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, can you enlarge it? Is it written Mahesh Dham or Shiva Loka?
Devi Mahesha. Mahesha is Shiva. That is Sadashiva. 1 second, Puja. I will try to enlarge. I don't know how to enlarge it. Yeah, somewhere here it is there. Yeah. Yeah, this is
Universe.
Universe and Brahma Jyoti, and this is
Kailash.
but here it is written as Kailash. I'm not saying anything about this, but in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura's this thing in Piyusha Kanana, There it is said Sadasiva resides in the spiritual planets. He says in the
Okay, bro. Yeah, no problem. So this is the naming only.
and the person who stays in the material planet, he stays in the Mount Kailas. It's very clearly said here. Rudra stays in Mount Kailas, but Sadashiva stays in spiritual planets.
Yeah.
That is above Brahma Jyoti. Spiritual planet doesn't mean Vaikuntha, above Brahma Jyoti. That is what is the representation here.
Yeah. So okay, bro. Thank you, bro. So Ramcharan Prabhu.
Prabhuji, my question is,
Yes, bro.
When sometime back, Prabhuji very nicely clarified my question when we were discussing. Rather, you smashed my ego by asking a question: is Jiva is equal to Supreme Lord or not? Right? You said me.
Yes.
So similar way, qualitatively, Shiva can be equalized, but as you said, by potency wise, he is little inferior.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Yes, bro.
So when we say if we don't worship Shiva, it is an offense.
No, I don't say worship.
Offense,
Respect.
Prabhu?
Respect.
Respect to, of course, we are giving it, but even worshipping also, I think it is written, because we are thinking that Shiva is inferior to Vishnu. As a
worship.
Vaishnava,
I didn't say Prabhu worship.
He is Pradama Vaishnava, we are respecting him.
Yeah. So worshipping is not given. Only the respect is one should not disconnect him and heinously seeing. Okay, I would worship only Vishnu and Shiva. He's not Ishvara. Shiva is not Ishvara. That means you not accepting Shiva as Ishvara is also offense. That's a respecting.
Because we are not worshipping because he is not Iswara. That's what I understand.
No.
Because he is not equal to Krishna. He is not equal to Krishna or Lord. So that's why that's the reason why, because he is not supreme. So we are going to as we are worshipping Supreme Lord only through our Guru Parampara and these things. So we never mention about Shiva any point of time. Maybe during that Shivaratri time and all, we may do some Pushpabhishekam or something like that in front of our altar and all, or in the temple. So that means, are we doing any offense in not, taking him, into consideration? Mostly we don't take, I don't take into consideration Shiva. So we don't keep any Shiva's photos or anything like that in the altar. And in fact, we tell others also don't keep those things and all. So is it an offense?
So Vishwanath Chakravarti didn't say that you should worship the Shiva, and if you don't worship it is offense. He didn't say at all. He is saying that, so I worship only Vishnu, and I accept Vishnu only Ishvara and not accepting Shiva as Ishvara. He said this much only. Worship point he didn't mention at all here. So that means accepting only Vishnu as Ishvara and not accepting Shiva's position as Ishvara. So that means not accepting means, so not giving the respect as the position of the Ishvara position, not giving that. So then that is offense. And completely what he is saying, so I will be worshipping only Vishnu, and so Shiva is not Ishvara, or otherwise I will be worshipping only Shiva and Vishnu is not Ishvara. So like this, if anyone have that means a separatist mentality and disrespecting others, that means Shiva followers disrespecting Vishnu, and they fight vivadaspadena. That means they have the quarrelsome mentality. Here the main point is what? Vivadaspadena. What I said, there is a quarrelsome mentality of, so this, that means I am the staunch Shiva follower and I don't care about the Vishnu, and I am the staunch follower of Vishnu and I don't care about the Shiva. So, and Shiva is not Ishvara. So in that case, and that kind of quarrelsome nature and fighting with others, that is wrong actually. So that means what here? That doesn't mean that the, so you have to worship the Shiva. He didn't say that. So we should worship the Vishnu, but we should also understand the position of the Shiva.
So that means Shivites also, they're not wrong. If they consider Shiva as supreme and worship him, so Shivites are there, Shiva devotees and all. So that is not wrong.
Shiva, worshipping Shiva is not at all wrong. Who said worshipping Shiva? But they should give the position to the Vishnu as given by the Shastra. So Vishnu is not touched by these, is completely Maya Sparsarahita Chaitanya, Ishvara Chaitanya. They should accept that.
Okay, if they accept it, it is okay.
If they accept it and still they worship the Ishvara Chaitanya, which is accepting the Maya Sparsha, then okay. They give that higher position to the Vishnu, but still I want to worship the Shiva only. Okay, fine, no problem.
Will they get liberation? Because if somebody worships,
They will not get any liberation.
they
They
don't
will
get
get
any liberation.
the
But
material
what's the
results
use
only.
of worshipping him?
No. Because Maya Sparsha Sahitam, and so Shiva will not give any liberation. You'll be,
Yes.
whatever results they are getting from the Shiva, that is not auspicious also.
Okay.
Because those will be by worshipping that form. So what will happen? So without understanding the proper, that means if someone worships Shiva as the supreme personality of Godhead and not understanding the Vishnu's position, then they will be getting the material results definitely, but they will be, so getting those results are in the inauspicious way. Those results, even that means material results only, because who will be, that means understanding the, so who will not, actually who will be approaching him as a supreme personality of Godhead, who are influenced by the Tamo Guna only, definitely. Because if one is understanding Vishnu is the Ishvara Chaitanya and is not touched by the Maya, and even after knowing that, accepting that, and still worship the Shiva, definitely is the right person only. Who will do? Nobody will do that actually. If you understand, you are clearly understanding that this Ishvara Chaitanya is completely free from the Maya Sparsha, and this is Ishvara Chaitanya is touched by the Maya Sparsha, then still you are worshipping this, what it means actually. So that's not at all a point actually. So then definitely you'll be coming. That kind of understanding means you'll definitely approach the Vishnu only, and you'll be having respect for the Shiva. But then who will be worshipping only Shiva? So whoever is not knowing this fact, they will be worshipping Shiva as Ishvara, as a supreme personality of Godhead. In their case, what will happen? They'll be getting the material results, and those are inauspicious. But if they approach the Vishnu and if they worship Vishnu for the material results, still they are the auspicious. Example is Dhruva Maharaj. So he approached the Supreme Lord with the material desires, but still he gave the auspicious benefit. That means he gave the devotion actually. He got the auspicious, that he gave the material opulence. By that he didn't get any, that means entanglement with the Maya. Ultimately he went back to the Dhruvaloka. But if you see the case of the Shiva, so Ravanasur worshipped Shiva and he got the material gain, and after that he was destroyed. Of course he will sanction. So Shiva also can sanction, Brahmaji also can sanction the material results, but those are all inauspicious.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Ram Charan.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have a question like with the
Yes,
previous paragraph when we're discussing.
Yeah.
There, the last line it says, "Iti vachanamapi brahm sahacharanya sangate iti." And when I was reading a translation, it says that, like in Hindi, it says that yes, Shastra vachan Brahma ke sambandh mein sangat hota hai. And when I'm reading like in English, it's saying from Anantas Babaji, this Shastric evidence will be considered proper when Shiva and Brahma are both in the category of eminent jivas. So, Prabhuji, like, could you put some discussion like what exactly is that?
Yes, Prabhu. So here this one, Prabhu. Atayeva अतएव यस्तु नारायणं देवं ब्रह्मरुद्रादि दैवतः समत्वेन मन्यते सः पाषण्डी भवेत् ध्रुवम्. हरिभक्ति विलास इति वचनम अपि. This sentence also ब्रह्म साहचर्येण संगच्छते इति. That means this sentence is applicable in the case of Brahmaji. Sangachati means applicable. So Brahma sahacharyena means along with Brahma. So this sentence, this vachanam also. So, but if you see this sentence, what this sentence is saying, Yaha, that means the person who Narayanam Devam, that means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. So Brahmadi Rudradi, Brahma Rudradi Daivataihi, that means Brahma and Shiva and so on, so other Devatas, Daivataihi Samatvena Manyate. If anyone considers, Manyate means considers Narayana is equal to Brahma, Rudra and other Devatas. So if they equate Narayana with the Brahma, Rudra and other Devatas, Saha, that person, Pashandi Bhavet. So this sentence, iti, that means this sentence, Vachanam api, this sentence also, Brahma Sahacharyena. So Brahma Sahacharyena Sangachate iti. So is applicable in the case of Brahmaji.
So Brahmaji means the Jiva Tattva, like because in English it's
Brahma,
translated.
Brahma.
Okay. Not in the Shiva, not in the like when we say like sometime in one Mahakalpa that a Jiva can be Lord Shiva also. So it is like because in the previous line it says.
Yeah, in the previous line it is said sometimes Jivatma can be the Shiva. That is the point. So Jivatma is treated as Jivatma can be the Shiva. So ultimately, then finally, what is said here? So this Nari Bhakti Vilas is saying in general, actually, if we consider the Brahma and Shiva and other devatas, if we equate Narayana, so with these demigods, other demigods, so then he is a Pashandi. यह शास्त्र वचन ब्रह्मा के संबंध में ही is saying actually संगत होता है. इति वचनमपि ब्रह्म साहचर्येण संगच्छते इति. ये एक्चुअली वो हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन ठीक नहीं है, एक्चुअली ये पूरा ठीक भी नहीं है. हिंदी ट्रांसलेशन आल्सो नॉट is rightly. May he is saying that it is applicable to only Brahmaji is saying. Is not at all. Is vachanam he is not at all there in Sanskrit. Iti vachanam api, this sentence also. So Brahma sahacharyena sangachate iti. So is applicable in the case of Brahmaji. But this sentence is clearly what it is saying. One should not compare Narayana with the other demigods. Then he is a Pashandi.
So but like but only in Brahma, like keval Brahmaji ke liye, like only for Brahmaji, but Shiva somebody can do it like that. What I'm getting confused is like in the English translation it says that when Shiva is like a living entity, at that time also is applicable. But here it just say like Brahmaji means like only in the case of Brahma when is Jiva, but not with Shiva.
So here, Hari Bhakti Vilas statement, what is saying? Narayana should not be compared with Brahma and Rudra and this. And this sentence is not at all having so much power here. Vachanamapi Brahma Sahacharyana Sangachate iti is not at all giving any power here actually. And we have to see the part Veda also, Prabhu. This text is having sometimes too much and sometimes less. So we have to refer this book in many editions, and a lot of variations are there in readings. So in the text also, sometimes you'll be seeing the 2-3 lines extra, some places 1 line, but I didn't see the multiple editions in the research where previously I was doing, but in between because of lack of time, so I was not able to do. But the sum and total is this only. So what is that? Here this Hari Bhakti Vilas statement, if you see, and previously what is said, sometimes Shiva can be the like Brahmaji, so Ishvara, Jiva only Ishvara. And that is also referred Yaduktam, that is said in this. And previously, definitely Brahmaji is definitely different from the Vishnu, because that is a Jiva Chaitanyam, that is Vishnu is a Ishwar Chaitanyam. But if we case the Shiva, so he is not different from the Ishvara. So that's why in that way you can see the Shiva is not different from the Vishnu, but still the difference is Maya Sparsha Sahitam. That is the point we should understand there. So that's why here, if you see here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, why he is saying, especially in the case of the Shiva, because Shiva is also Ishvara, because Ishvara Chaitanya only. But whoever is worshipping only Vishnu and disrespecting the Shiva, or otherwise someone is worshipping Shiva and disrespecting the Vishnu exclusively, so then there is offense. There is, if they have that kind of vivada grasta mati, that means that's that kind of quarrelsome mentality, so then nama parada will happen. So it's nothing much actually here, no big.
Okay.
Shall I go, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu. From this, like, yeah, this is, I didn't find a connection here, but yeah, like it's continuing from there, so that makes clear, Prabhu.
Yeah. So I'm in the bit mood of so
Completing it.
because otherwise completing means bit hurry, Prabhu. Really, I'm, to be frank, I'm going so going little bit speed, because also these topics are many times, multiple times it came also. And as a Madhuri Kadambini, so this only thing is offense, how to avoid this offense, which we are going to elaborately study once again. All the students are there in the Bhakti Sandarbha also. You are there once again, it will come in detail, actually in detail. So Nama Paradas, so that is very soon it will be coming in there also. And here then it will be really, I'm not pulling out the points from there, and in Paramatma Sandarbha also much is discussed there. So what kind of, now Prabhuji is asking, what kind of result we will be getting by worshipping whom? So auspicious or inauspicious? Can we get the that moksha liberation by worshipping the Shiva? Why not? Those kind of intricacies are discussed there. But so now I am thinking, so these are all will be coming anyway in the Bhakti Sandarbha, and also this is main author didn't discuss. So let me go with the.
If you allow me, I may add one line only.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Wherein Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj very clearly said, we as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we give only importance for Radha Krishna.
Yes.
We don't even give to Vishnu.
Yes.
And Shiva, as a Vaishnava Acharya, we can respect.
Yes.
And there is nothing wrong if you worship Prabhupada. You definitely go to Goloka.
Yes.
But Prabhupada along with Krishna. Similarly, Shiva along with Krishna.
Yes.
This is what has been explained by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. And in Mayapur, Sridham Mayapur, on Shivaratri day, a nice Abhisheka will be done all through the night.
Yeah, that's why I already explained this. If anyone wants to worship Shiva, so there are the different ways in the demigods also I said. So if anyone wants to worship, wants means if any situation arises actually to worship the Shiva, so then in that case, that's a Spotalinga Narsimha. So we
Yes, Prabhuji
discussed
said.
that story there
Yes,
in that
Prabhuji.
Shivalinga. So one Brahmana was worshipping when he was forced to worship the Shivalinga. So he was worshipping Narsingh Bhagwan. And then that means he is seeing so Shivalinga as Adhisthana, as a sitting place for the Vishnu. In that way also you can worship, or otherwise you can worship the Shiva as the Vaishnava. That means Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu. So being a Vaishnava, so respecting Vaishnava like how other Vaishnavas we respect. So with that, with that respect, one can worship the Shiva, and also Brahmaji also one can worship as a Acharya, Guru, Jagat Guru actually. So Brahmaji is a Jagat Guru. He is the first Tene Brahmahurdaya Adikave. So in whose heart Lord expanded this Vedic knowledge, is Bhagavatam. So that's why Brahmaji also is in our Guru Parampara. So he can be worshipped like Prabhupada. Brahmaji also worshipped in that way Guru form. So that is also possible. And also we can worship the demigods also one can worship when situation arises. Only when situation arises actually. So it became compulsory. So then how worship the demigods? They can be worshipped as the limbs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like the sun is the eyes of the Supreme Virat Purusha. That means as the Supreme Personality, which is nothing but the materialistic form of the Lord. And so they are all located there. So in that way, as the eyes of the Virat Purusha, we can worship, or otherwise. So one can worship the demigods as the vibhuti of the Lord. That's a special energy manifestation of the special energy. So like that also we can worship. And demigods, vibhutis, and otherwise you can see in the demigods, in the demigod also you can see the Lord, because like in the every living entity Lord is there. In that way we can accept demigods as the adhisthana, or the sitting place for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like this, in the many ways one can worship, but not without connecting to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so they will not be worshipped. That's the point. Independent worship is not recommended, like in the case of the Hiranyakashipu. So he was completely rejecting the Vishnu and worshipped the Brahma. Like Ravana also completely rejecting the Rama and he worshipped the Vishnu and he worshipped the Shiva. So then what will be getting? They will be getting the results, definitely material results they will be getting. So those will not be auspicious. And because they will be, by worshipping those forms independently, so Rajas and Tamas will be increasing. But if when they worship the Lord, even if one worship the Lord Vishnu with the material desires also, then in them sattva guna will increases, and also there is that results whatever they will be getting, those will be the auspicious material results. Of course, those are material results, but they are auspicious. Like in the Kādambinī case, he was saying, so why I worship, that means in the Bindu Sarovar, so he was saying, so to the Vishnu, I worship you because so you are so auspicious. Even materially, if I approach whatever the results you give, so that will be definitely giving the auspiciousness. Even any wealth, if we get because of the Vishnu sanction, that wealth definitely will be auspicious only. That will be leading to the further progress in our devotional life. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Mahaseva Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in between this thing was disconnected, so I couldn't hear. But Prabhuji, just wanted to mention that actually in one of the Krishna Kathamrita Bindu, actually Gaurav Swami Maharaj, like he has mentioned that he will, like I think he was again referring something. Maybe I can send you the picture. That even by chanting if somebody chanting Om Namah Shivaya, and he can also be liberated, like that he is mentioned. And I don't know what kind of liberation, and all that is not given there, but like that it was mentioned. So yeah, it was very confusing actually. Maybe I will share you, then only you can comment, I think.
Yeah. Why one will not get? Because Sakshat Parabrahmatvam is not there in the case of, if you worship independently Shiva and without connection with the Vishnu, so then Sakshat Parabrahmatvam is there in that. So that's why one will not be getting any a liberation from that.
So then this may be the point, Prabhuji, that somebody may not be worshipping independently, but if he is still worshipping, knowing both are like Supreme Lord, then probably he can get to something. I don't know. I'm asking you.
So स्वयंभः उपाधिदृष्ट्या तौ द्वौ सेयुमाने रजस्तमोः घोर विमूढत्वात् भवन्तोऽपि धर्मार्थकाम नातिसुखदाः भवन्ति तथा उपाधित्यागेन सेवमाने भवन्नपि मोक्षो न साक्षात् न झटिति किन्तु कथमपि परमात्मांश एव अयम्. So we have to remember all the time, we should not at all confuse any time in the whole life one principle. The principles of devotion should be accepted. Without bhakti, everyone should remember, without bhakti, no moksha will come. Okay? Without bhakti, no moksha will come. Even that Brahma Jyoti, merging into Brahma Jyoti or anywhere. Without some sort of the bhakti, some sort of the connection with the Vishnu, but never there is even no result will give the, so nothing will, no result will be getting. So moksha definitely will not be getting at all without bhakti. So even if someone worship Shiva, so but ultimately, so here that is the point is said. If one worships Shiva with the upadhi means worshipping Shiva as the controller of the tamoguna, so then what will happen? So in that case, they will be getting the rajas and tamas. That means rajo tamaso ghora vimudatvat bhavantopi dharmartha kama. So that means whatever dharma artha kama they are giving. So if one worship the Shiva with the as the controller, with the upadhi means as the controller of the tamoguna, that means so he is the, now he will be glorifying, that worshipper will be glorifying Shiva as the destroyer of this nature, and he is being in tamoguna. So Shiva, that means being the control of the tamoguna, he'll be staying on the Kailasha, this, that, and this kind of Vesha. So like all these qualities, he's attracted for that external qualities, whatever he is having. So with that, identifying that upadhi as the supreme, and with that, including that upadhi, so one worship. That means along with the upadhi, if one worship, along that upadhi means, so seeing Shiva as destroyer of this nature. So in that way, if one worships, so then what will happen? They will be getting the dharmartha kama, but those will not be so auspicious. Those will not be auspicious. Dharmartha kama are nati sukhadaha. Next, what he is saying, tata upadhi tyagena sevamane. That means you are not seeing the Shiva as the, that means controller of the tamoguna. Upadhi tyagena seva bhavannapi moksho na sakshat jatiti. That means even moksha also will not come quickly. Kintu khatamapi paramatmamsha eva ayam iti anusandhana abhyasan eva paramatmana eva bhavati. So you are worshipping the Shiva, but if you don't see the Shiva with the connection with the Vishnu, you will never get mukti, moksha. So dharma, artha, kama, these three, if you will get, if you worship Shiva, so by seeing, even if you see him with the connection with this tamoguna, upadhi means here tamoguna, connection with the tamoguna. So like worshipping the Vishnu as a maintainer of this universe that is nothing but the, so you are seeing the Vishnu with the upadhi. Okay, so similarly, seeing the Shiva as upadhi means, with the upadhi means, seeing Shiva with the upadhi means what? So seeing his activities with respect to this guna, through this guna, his activities through this guna. So in that way, if you worship Shiva, so what you will be getting? You will be getting dharma, artha, kama. But those are all inauspicious. Now you will be worshipping Shiva as param tattvam. That means you are not seeing his upadhi, that means his activities through the tamoguna, and you are worshipping him as a supreme paramatatvam. And if you worship like that, can you get the moksha? No. until unless if you don't see his connection, this Shiva Tattvam connection with the Vishnu. That's Param Brahma. That is Vishnu. Who is that? Vishnu is nothing but Param Brahma. That is Swamsha. Because in the Vishnu, Sakshat Parabrahmatvam is there. Swamsha, because he is a Swamsha. Sakshat Parabrahmatvam is there. Without seeing the connection without seeing Shiva's connection with the Sakshat Parabrahma, that is Vishnu, you will not get any moksha. Understanding, Prabhu? Is going Mahaseva, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, this point is very clear. That at least the connection should be there, no? That is what you
Yeah. What here Joe Goswami is writing in the Paramatma Sandarbha, what he is saying, you see. Tata Upadhi Tyagena. Upadhi Tyagena means not seeing the Shiva's connection with the mode of ignorance. Upadhi Tyagena Sevamane. If you worship, Bhavannapi Moksho Nasaksha Jatati. That means so liberation. Sevamane Bhavannapi Moksha will come. So if you worship Shiva, moksha will come. So na jatati, that means not directly. So it will not come directly. Kintu khatamapi paramatma amsha eva ayam. Mane, this Shiva is also part and parcel of the absolute truth. That's Sakshat Parabrahma. So iti anusandhana abhyaseneva. So that means this kind of connection we should see. We should see the connection of Shiva with the absolute truth. So Paramatma means who is the Paramatma? That is a Vishnu, or otherwise Krishna. So Paramatma Amsha Eva Ayam. That means this Shiva is the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So iti anusandhana abhyasena. Anusandhana. This kind of connecting knowledge. This kind of connection, practicing this kind of connection. So, eva paramatmana eva bhavati. Ultimately, so then he will be getting the moksha by that paramatma only. So that's why independently, if you worship this Shiva as if a supreme personality of Godhead, you will never get moksha.
Yes, Prabhuji. This much of elaboration was definitely not there. So just one statement kind of thing.
Yeah, bro.
So that's why it was like a little bit confusing also.
Yeah. So that's why if worshipping the Shiva as absolute truth, worshipping Shiva as the destroyer of this material nature. The difference is what? That means Shiva seeing with the upadhis, Shiva seeing Shiva without upadhis. So that is the point actually. And Shiva seeing without upadhis, if you worship, you will not get moksha until unless if you don't see that Shiva as a part and parcel of the absolute truth.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. This is a little bit complex. Shiva Tattva is always confusing for devotees, I guess.
Yeah. You all have time? So I should go another one paragraph.
Yes.
शिव केशव का कोई भेद नहीं करके बोलता है ना. People say that there is no difference between Shiva and Keshav.
Yeah. So that is also true. In what sense it is true? So both are Ishwar Tattvam. So in that way, so Shiva Kesava are same, but also we should see the superiority of the Keshav. So difference also is there. So that's why simply rejecting Shiva is also offense, and accepting Shiva as Supreme Personality of Godhead and rejecting Vishnu is also offense. And whatever the original relation is there, actual relation, that should be understood and followed. Then it is right.
Actually, Prabhuji, in terms of gunas also there is difference now. That the number of gunas, 58 guna or something in Shiva.
Yes.
Krishna.
So quickly, if I go through this, evam cha. So now Shruti Shastra Ninda, that's third, Chaturtha, that's the fourth offense. Because Guru Ravagna already we said in the Vaishnava offense itself, it is category. We took into that. The first offense, like the same way, like how Vaishnava offenses we understood. So Vaishnava Aparadh, the same way Guru Ravagna is also should be understood. Now we are going to the fourth Nama Aparadh, that is Shruti Shastra Nindanam. Mr. A, simple actually, he is saying. So someone might be offending these scriptures. Na eta bhagavad bhakti sprishanti bahirmukah vigitaha. Iti gnana karma pratipada srutir yenayo. So these some scriptures are not establishing the bhakti and are simply discussing about the gnana and karma. And hey, these scriptures are useless, and this karma kanda, this is and disrespecting that section, and is no bhakti is there, and simply it is just a trap for the human beings, and such a disrespectful attitude anyone have towards that. So, and gnana, useless part of the Vedas, and it is simply establishing the gnana. So like this, if anyone so offend by the mouth, or if they offend those sections, so then what they should do with that same mouth, so they has to so respect tad anushtatrumscha janan tenaiva mukena tan tad anushtatrumscha. That means they has to so appreciate means they should give the respect to those sections and also followers of those. Abhinandya, then nama ruchai, nama bihi uchaihi. That means with loud names, Hare Krishna, like that, with loud names. So they should do the chanting, and in this way, Shruti Shastra Ninda Rupat. In this way, one can get out from the offending this Shastra, Shruti. Why one should do, why? Then one may ask, then why Prabhu we have to accept, why we have to respect those sections also? Because yataha taha srutayaha, because those Vedas, so bhakti margeshu anadhikarinaha swachandavartinaha parama ragandhanamapi vartmamatra madhyarohayitum udyataha and paramakارunikaha eva iti. Because those sections also so really so merciful, because some jivas who are fully affected by this material desires, and who are not eligible for the devotion, and who are independent in the nature, and who are affected by the material desires, and even those people, that means even those people are guided by those sections of the Shrutis, and really they are these sections are guiding those people, and these sections are really so merciful towards them. They are taking care even those kind of people. So iti, in this way, so that's the iti tattad parya vignana jana prabodita yadi bhagyavashad bhaveyuhu tadayaviti. So like this, if someone, some mature person comes into our life, and if he explains, and then that person will come out from that offense. So that's why you should not yes, Archana Bhakti Mataji, one should not blaspheme other sections of the Shrutis.
Prabhuji, so this is about having a blasphemous mentality, or actually thinking that these are not useful and like that. But it can be adjusted, because even in Srimad Bhagavatam, in some places we see So it is used, so that won't be an offense, because if you're dealing with devotees, then you would not, to discourage them from taking to these sections, you may show how
Yeah.
they are inferior to bhakti, right, Prabhuji?
No, yeah, that is not a problem. So of course we are showing the Shiva also is inferior to the Vishnu because he's touched by the Maya, because that is a fact actually. So
Yeah.
discussing fact is not wrong, but blaspheming is wrong.
Yeah.
So blasphemy is having heinous mentality towards that is wrong. So that is offensive. That Shruti Shastra Nindanam, that comes under the Ninda. So Ninda is different from the speaking reality. So final one line. Evam eva anyesham api षण्णामापराधानां udbhava nivrutti nidanani avagantavan. In this way, all other 6 offenses also you should understand the how they happen and how to overcome those. So in this way, one should understand. So those we will be studying in the Bhakti Sundara. Okay, here we will not study. Even Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur didn't say, and we have another, yeah. So few days, another 4 weeks. So time is there? No.
Guruji, we
Okay, this
have
much.
time.
Yeah, only one little bit. So now Bhakti Aparadas. Nama Aparada is that means Aparadot Anardha is finished. We have seen the Shukrutot Anardha, Dushkrutot Anardha, Aparadot Anardha 3 we have seen. Now Bhakti Anardha is one thing, small thing is pending. So here it is said, Ata Bhaktyutta Aste Cha Mola Shakata Upashaka Eva Bhaktya. So Dhanadhi Lava Puja Pratishtadyah Svavrittibhi. So Sadaka Chittam Api Uparajya Swavridya Molashakamiva Bhaktimapi Kuntayitum Prabhavanti. So it's simply like you sometimes you'll be seeing in the tree, so the branches are becoming so strong and they are becoming like a very big, and they will become as a main tree, and so this main stem is becoming weak. So the same way, when we do bhakti, sometimes we will be getting the labha puja pratishta. That means some kind of the profit and appreciation and the fame, so and so. So because those are the just branches, they are upashakaha. Those are the simply branches to the bhakti lata. They are simply coming as a results. So like subhada, like means like some results will come out. So this name, fame, and anima, manima, lahima, so and siddhis and so many things will come. So because of then what will happen? So in the devotee's life, so they are coming as outcomes of the bhakti. So those are becoming the prominent in his life, and bhakti is becoming the secondary. So this kind of in this way, bhakti is getting hampered. So like the sub branches or branches are looking very big, becoming very strong and big, and they are overcoming, they're overleading, or so overleading the main stem. So in that way, so then these will become in the same way in the devotee's life, this pratishta and puja, that means prestige. So those are becoming prominent, and because of that, bhakti is getting stopped. Example, so someone is getting the is habituated to the fame actually, then he started taking the decisions based upon that fame. So okay, if I do program in this area, then I will be getting the more fame. Let me go to this area. Okay, if I go to Middle East, I will be getting the lot of fame. If I go to West, then I will be getting a lot of fame. What is there? So this in the village, why I have to serve here to these villagers? So because the mood is what now is not the serving Anyabhilasha Sunni, that means serving unconditionally pleasing the Lord. No, that is not the mood. Now the mood is, so wherever the fame, there is I am. So this is hampering the bhakti. That means that is looking, then that fame is the driving point, and based upon that he is taking the decisions, and his whole devotional life is driven by that. Then what will happen? Bhakti mapi kuntayitum prabhavanti. Then that is hampering the bhakti. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. This is clear. Okay, any questions? Then we'll end up here. 4 aparadhas are over, then 4 anarthas. Then little bit is there, then anardhani vritti will be finished. In the that means tomorrow class, anardhani vritti, and also will go to the next stage. Nishtha and Ruchi, both will be try to finish. A small topic overall.
Only in the class, Prabhuji, or literally we will be progressing tomorrow. Beyond another Nivriti. Literally, we will be going beyond another Nivriti tomorrow, or just in the class we are.
No.
I am sure.
Not in
Prabhuji.
reality, only in the class we are going.
No, no, no. I'm in sure, Prabhuji. If I'm in association,
we will be in the most of the times.
Prabhuji, if I'm sure, if I'm in
We are in
association of you devotees, I will come out of my anarthas.
So my Ghana stage is sometimes doing enthusiastically, sometimes not doing. It's naishtiki. It's anishti. That means anaishtiki bhajan kriya is going on actually. So it will take a lot of time clearing and only just like a parrot seeing and discussing those letters. Simply, it's a fact actually. I'm saying fact, not just becoming humble. At least in my case, I am nowhere actually in the devotional path.
That is the humbleness, Prabhuji.
No, bro, really, bro, it's a fact actually. I'm saying because to get Shraddha itself took a lot of time actually. Accepting the Krishna as supreme personality of God, because so much, so lot of logic previously were having in the brain. So it took a lot of time actually. So after seeing that,
Prabhuji's neck is little unstable, it looks.
who is
Yes, Prabhuji, we are not able to hear.
An indication that he is tired. And now it is totally closed.
Mute, Prabhuji, you're in mute.
when it was muted.
Actually, it was frozen. We didn't even see you. And then
Whenever
after
you
we
started
it was
saying,
mute.
becoming all those things which we don't believe, that you are very like not that good in bhakti, that time internet stopped supporting you. So
Krishna didn't want us to hear all that.
So what I was saying, Prabhu, so just when we were in the just hearing also is really, even after reading these Acharya's books, and we are directly hearing their sentences, their words, and of course definitely it will be giving some influence. If to get the full result, we need to have this such a devotee association who really cross those stages, and those devotees direct association if we have, at least for some days, it will be really helpful actually. That is the thing I felt actually in my life. In family life, if we don't have such a inspiring, will go back. And because anarthas are so powerful, na, those will not allow to get the influence of those teachings, whatever we hear, to make into the practice. So to put into the practice. So these offenses are always becoming stumbling block. So now at least we understood that anything is not happening, any glory of bhakti we heard and not happening means in our life, clearly we should understand that that is offense. And there is a strong obstacle is there in our life. So that's offense is becoming an obstacle. So now the thing is, then we should become serious and work it out. So, and also definitely because of previous offenses, there is a strong lethargy also will be there. Definitely that is also to work out on that. Once again, there is because of previous offenses, lethargy also is sitting with us. So because of this lethargy or laxity, whatever laxity we can say, not able to go. Then what we need? Then we need this strong association. Then push will get. We'll get the push actually. We have knowledge, but some strong association also when we get such a qualified devotee who really seriously practicing bhakti with the good mood and such a serious devotees association we get, then we'll get the and in his association, if we do the serious chanting, then we'll get the push. Then we cross that step. Then once again we'll be strucking. And like this. So it's like a very carefully, because we should finish our anarthas and again by working constantly like a farmer. So to clean a land, to cultivate that land, he'll be cleaning. There will be a lot of stones and there are the bushes and this and that, and he cannot just, of course he has a desire to get the crop, and he cannot put the seed and immediately cannot get the results. He has to so carefully go through that. If you have experience of the farming, so you can easily understand. So this how you have to clear the big stones, small stones. First of all, big stones will throw it out, and then after that for that we'll be using the different equipments, and then after small stones we are picking out. For that we'll be also trying to clean, and then bushes and all these things. If when you clean and then the proper sand is ready, then only we can, soil is ready, then only, so we'll be having, that means properly we can cultivate that. So if we then the whatever the seed we kept already, so that will be growing nicely. So otherwise so the such a careful attention is needed in the agriculture. It is also like we are doing the farming only, farming of bhakti lata. Yes, Mataji, agriculture specialist. So we
Feel
are
this
doing
out
the farming actually.
Krishna's
So,
arrangement for me. He gradually, he made me go through that, and now this lesson. So it's all falling in
yeah.
place nicely.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in our side, I am from Bihar. So our
Yes.
side near Ganges, the land is so fertile. I'm just
Yes.
mentioning that.
Yeah, like you are also without offenses.
I am not. I'm just mentioning farmers just go and just spread the seed, and that's it.
Yeah.
It is done.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
they
Prabhu.
go only for the cutting only, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
Yes, yes.
maybe that kind of kshetra you are in, like
No, we
Vrindavan.
don't have.
Probably
We
that.
are all coming from such a place where there are the stones.
Just kshetra importance.
Yeah. What kind of like our heart? This kshetra is our heart. That on the first day classes, initial day classes, we were learning that kshetra is our heart is a kshetra, and bija is a bhakti is a bija. So there, if we revise those classes, it will be good. So we have to clean these things. Takes a lot of time. Otherwise, nothing means every time we'll coming to this point only. So Prabhuji, we are hearing these glories, but why it is not happening? Every devotee is talking and asking that too. So ultimately, same answer every time, again and again. So first of all, understanding the influence of the offenses and the role of the offenses and how, like from the Bhakti Sundarbha and this, and then after that we try to identify and try to go, but still we are not able to go, because then we need to have the strong association actually, and that is that's why every acharya always again and again says, so, we want association, even of prema stage also. So the namaparada tendency will be there even in the prema stage. That all the namaparadas are eradicated definitely in the prema stage, but the tendency to do the namaparada tendency means there is a chance, that means to commit the offenses, but atyantika, that means complete. So completely, that means he will never commit also. So atyantiki, that means complete eradication, means he'll never commit back that when he get the Bhagavad Prapti. So when he get the Bhagavan, that means Bhagavad Prapti when happens, then only. So that's why Premi Bhaktas also careful about committing about the offenses. There we'll be discussing anyway in the tomorrow's class. So that will be discussing. So any offense may happen, and also we need to alert for that, and again purifying. So it's like a very subtle science and very careful. If we are not careful about our activities, day-to-day thinking and activities, it's very difficult actually. So then you'll be seeing the very irregular behavior in the very materialistic behavior we can see in even in the devotees case also. It will happen definitely, because definitely you'll get the material attraction and so many other things. And also that's why if we understand the devotional science, so it is not very uncommon, it's not very surprising. So getting this material attraction, even a great devotees, and they practiced one time very nicely and they were very shining, and so all of a sudden we'll be seeing that means some kind of attraction towards material things. It will happen actually. So it's not a uncommon thing, it is very common. Acharyas clearly explaining everywhere actually, again and again. So that's why we have to be careful about these things. We'll try to understand through Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his books also. That's Harinama Chintamani. I am really not knowing that, and how he analyzed and explained. Maybe then, and also I need good devotees association, great devotees, so that some hope. Just knowing is also not sufficient, because there Jiva Goswami says, so until unless we are not in the association, then we'll understand that lethargy will come out. Okay, Prabhu.
Prabhuji,
Ramchandra, you are raising hand.
one point.
Yes, Madhuri.
Daily classes with you is giving that type of association for me, for sure.
No, Madhuri, actually, I am not a really okay. So Ramchandra Prabhu.
How daily you are getting, Mataji? We are missing.
Acha.
Which is the courses Prabhuji is taking?
Actually, I am doing class, Prabhu, Bhakti Shastri Hindi class. So
Okay.
Radharani Mataji also comes, and Archana Bhakti Mataji also comes, and many Ramchandra Prabhu also, he also comes.
Any English?
And
English
actually,
professor, Prabhuji?
Rukmini Mohan Prabhu, I am really sorry, Prabhu. I am really sorry. I somehow missed your message, and because I saw your message, I was just thinking that message will come on the. But I forgot. First of all, your name was skipped. But even if I skipped anyone's name, so those will be sending message in the WhatsApp. So immediately WhatsApp sound will come. So I will be while class also. I'll be that is displayed here actually message from this. Then immediately if I say someone is requesting, then I will send link. So I think you sent in your request on the normal message. I think no, Prabhu? WhatsApp message.
No, Prabhuji, I sent on the WhatsApp.
WhatsApp only. Oh, maybe
Yes, Prabhuji.
actually somehow, Prabhu, I
But
missed it.
unfortunate soul can't get the association. So
No,
what can be done?
but actually also very good. Many things about the Raganu Bhakti we discussed. So
Why are you so favoring Hindi devotees, Prabhuji? What about us who cannot understand Hindi?
well, actually here we have course actually Bhakti Shastri from our ISKCON Bhagavat Mahavidyalaya. So,
Will it not be there in English?
English
By,
no,
by you?
so English no problem actually. No. I'm not because now the actual vacation is going on. So but we don't have teachers here many. So that's why I'm doing Hindi. Even I don't know much Hindi, but so we at least for that batch we don't have any teachers from IBM. So that's why I was.
In future, we can expect an English Bhakti Shastri.
Yeah, bro, definitely. In Hindi Bhakti Shastri, if I do, so then English next time. I am also interested in doing the total book. Actually, Ramcharan Prabhu was also asking. So that is also a very good plan, but it takes a lot of time. Actually. So Dakshina Vibhag is very big. Vibhava, Anubhava, Sanchari, but it is not big really because it will be replication actually. Same is once if you understand it for the Madhurya Rasa, if you understand the what is Anubhava, Vibhava, Sanchari and Satvika Bhav, Sthai Bhav, then same the prototype will be same and just a little bit changes in the Vatsalya, little bit changes in the Sakya, little bit changes in the say Dasya. That's all. So we can easily catch also. And one way it is easy also. And yes, that can be discussed actually. That then English will. But Brahma Sutras are coming now. But that is also unplanned actually. Kanai Krishna Prabhu gave to me, so he told you should do. So then I am doing that. So,
Do we already started?
no, Prabhu, that will be. That's why I'm hurrying. So I will be starting in February 2nd week.
Prabhuji, but that is Friday and Saturday, no? Why?
No,
why not
that's also Saturday and
Oh.
Sunday, Mataji.
Okay, so that's after Mādhurya Kādambinī then.
Yeah. So that means 2nd February, 2nd week February, so 2nd Saturday and Sunday of February.
Prabhuji, any plan of doing Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur teachings like Jaya Dharma?
Yeah,
Chitan
Prabhu, that
Shikshani?
is really I am learning the trying to learn now. I'm learning little bit Bengali also. So then keep Moola also with us and also the translators English. So it will be more beneficial actually. Moola text also. Why I am not so jumped into that because Moola text how it is going and translators are maintaining that. That is the thing. That's a surety is needed actually because that is also not translated by Prabhupada and so that's why learning Bengali and teaching will be good actually. More justification we can do without. And also, if we keep Moolana Prabhu, the whole book will be easily understandable. So even in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, since we are keeping Moola, so it is really helping Prabhu. Yes, Mataji, so you are all observing, na? So that Moola is really helping and how the chapter is organized and what is the main point is discussed here, that we can easily catch from the Moola. Then after that, how Prabhupada is explaining that and what additions he added to make understand people. It will become useful actually. Yes, Prabhu Ramchandra.
Yes, Prabhuji, like I was reading this here, the last section that we discussed. Here is like I was just reading this commentary by in Hindi. There it said like the भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि इच्छाओं का छेदन करने पर भी प्रतिष्ठा की वासना को दूर करना बड़ा भारी कठिन है. So this pratishtha means like getting recognition. This is which is coming from bhakti, like not really coming from bhakti, but basically just is like we are getting. So is it basically coming from our original like kam vasana that the living entity have, that's we want pratishtha and those kind of things, like subtle sexual desires that we have, like from
Acha,
where
acha,
it's
acha.
coming, like
Yeah. So this anima, manima, anima, lagma, these are all actually yeah, you are asking the point. Those as the byproducts of the bhakti, those will be coming. That can be Lord, can be based upon the so our desire actually. Yadi ichchati, so Lord also says, Yadi ichchati, that means if some devotee is desiring, definitely, so those will be sanctioned immediately by the Lord. And whatever materially, that means we want pratishtha, we want to become the whole world. That's the best preacher. That means best speaker actually. Okay, you want to become, then take it. Then then by that pratishtha, if we carried out, I mean, if we are carried out by that pratishtha, then we'll learn lesson from that actually. Then that will be drying out the taste for the bhakti because of that attraction. So one will be not able to sincerely follow the bhakti and not able to relish the real taste of the bhakti. That is also anartha actually. That will anartha means which stops the doing bhakti. So relishing the bhakti. Doing bhakti means relishing. That means taste for the doing bhakti. So then what will happen? So then once again after few some time, then we will be so realizing, oh, maybe after one life or in the same life also after 1 year, oh, actually when I was so like that, so at that time I was really tasting, because that samskaras will be there, that a taste, the anubhuti, that means the real bhakti taste. Then immediately once again pulling back, oh, what is this materially, the fame we don't want, and I don't want this, because that is also because we are separated from the pure honey. Now like you see sometimes if you start eating the impure ghee, so then what will happen? So then we'll be immediately after a few days, so we'll be understanding, oh, this is not really a nice one. No, because of that separation, so we'll be thinking back once again the pure thinking, pure ghee, and we will be remembering, and once again we'll be trying to come back. Then if you become the humble to the Lord, in front of Lord, and if you beg, and then we'll once again turning back, Lord will be help, okay, you want to come back, then come. So like that this will happen.
Prabhuji, my question was like this, because here it's mentioned that it is more
Desire,
dangerous
why it is coming, you are asking that, that is
and,
no point.
and why is more dangerous than bhukti and mukti? It says that like it's like then I think in the book it's quoted like one verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas also. So like why it's like more dangerous, pratishtha is more dangerous than bhakti and mukti. So like is it not like if somebody gave a bhakti and mukti, then this will also go, like, or is it still stays with us like pratishtha?
Which line, Prabhu? कौन सा line है?
Prabhuji, page number 201, like this
In the 201, okay. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, third line.
Yeah, it says like भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि की इच्छाओं का छेदन करने पर भी प्रतिष्ठा की वासना को दूर करना बड़ा भारी कठिन है.
भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि इच्छाओं की छेदन करने पर भी प्रतिष्ठा की वासना को दूर करना बड़ी कठिन है. तो श्री सनातन गोस्वामी पाद ने हरिभक्ति विलास की उपसंहार में लिखा है, सर्वत्यागे प्याहेयाः सर्वानर्थ सर्व अनर्थ भुवश्च ते कुर्याः सो प्रतिष्ठाविष्टायाः सो यत्न स्पर्शने वरम. That means what he is saying, pratishtha, especially here it is said that pratishtha, Pratishta means that ego. That means I am this. Here, bhukti, mukti. Mukti means just I said, mukti means is simply, if you want to understand, so the relief from the material miseries. Bhukti means, that means just getting the some sense gratifying objects. That means objects for the sense gratification. That is known as bhukti. And mukti means the relief from the material miseries. So these two you can easily, this kind of desires, that means, oh, this material world is so miserable, I have to be out. So that kind of desire, and or otherwise I want to get so some objects for the sense gratification. So these kind of desires can be easily overcome. But the desire for pratishta, that is on the ego level actually. That is the last sneer of the Maya is a false ego actually. The last sneer of the Maya is the false ego. So that's why the false ego, the satisfying the false ego. That means you, because of the bhakti, so one easily, that means fulfilled his desire. That means he wanted to become world famous. Yes, now he became world famous. So then being sitting in that position, that means now his false ego is boosted actually. So now this, for that he's ready to even so sacrifice anything. He may sacrifice to eating, sleeping, whatever. So that's material objects, good comforts also. But people has to respect him, give the appreciation and pratishta, that means status for him. So, and also his desire for the getting out from this material miseries is also is overcome. But this pratishta is very difficult. Overcoming this pratishta is very difficult. That's why sarvatyage api, that means sarvatyage api means even after leaving everything, sarvatyage api aheyaha aheyayaha sarva anardha bhuvascha. That means after leaving out all the heinous things. So pratishta vishtayaha, pratishta vishta means it's stool actually. So pratishta vishtayaha yatnam asparshane varam kuryaha. So that means इसीलिए साधक प्रतिष्ठा रूपी विष्ठा से बचने के लिए विशेष सतर्कता का अवलंबन करेंगे. So leaving all worldly objects, sense gratification, objects for the sense gratification is very easy, but the sadhaka has to carefully leave. That means ask the boon actually to cross this, or to leave this pratishta vishta. That means the stool. That's fame is like a stool. Even big devotees actually so are having, that means so they are doing a lot of austerity and all the tapasya, everything, but so I am this. So that's very difficult to cross pratishta.
Actually, Prabhuji, Chedan here means only leaving the desire of bhukti and mukti. Correct? No, it is not actually only that. So generally we can see that devotees leave the desire for bhukti and mukti.
Yeah, but pratishta is not so easy.
Still want. Even after becoming devotee also we want respect.
Yeah. So pratishta, leaving name, fame, so is very difficult actually. Yes, Prabhu. Ramchandra Prabhu, you are clear?
Yes,
Any
Prabhu.
doubt?
No, thank you. And also, Prabhu, like, thank you yesterday, like you answered my question. So fortunately today I was reading like third canto where Srila Prabhupada also Like I is reading the purport, and that it mentioned that that when a devotee practice Vedic bhakti, when he's going to transfer to Raganuga bhakti, the Lord as a Chaitya Guru is going to transfer that. So I was just reading today, like, and I got that reference also.
Acha, acha. What is that reference? In
That's in third canto, Prabhuji. Like third canto, it is.
You can message me that.
Yeah, third canto, like chapter number 5, text number 4. Here, Srila Prabhupada says that the bhakti process as performed under the regulative principle of Vedic bhakti or devotional service following the prescribed rules and regulations is defined by revealed scriptures and confirmed by great acharyas. This
Yes.
practice can help the neophyte devotee to the rise to the stage of raga bhakti, in which Lord responds from within as the Chaitya Guru or the spiritual master as super consciousness.
Yes. Yes, bro. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, Bruno. I should say thank you to you.
So, yeah. Sometimes actually Bhajan Guru can be Diksha Guru also. So we will be seeing this also. Bhajan Guru can be the Diksha Guru also, or sometimes Siksha Guru also can be Bhajan Guru. So how to get that? To get that the final, that means in which bhava, that means we should practice, what kind of Brajavasis we should follow, whom we should follow. So there already elevated Siksha Guru definitely will help in the bhajan also, how to practice that. And we should actually, we need to have that kind of atmosphere also in our society. Definitely preaching is important, and also so the senior devotees so should set examples like retiring and so doing that kind of so intense sadhana and bhajan, maybe, I don't know. So we need that kind of association who can guide in that kind of bhajan. And also we definitely, Prabhupada's mission is preaching should go on. All varieties of catering is happening, then it will be nice. So we should have that kind of atmosphere. Someone is intensely doing bhajan and reach to the raga stage, then he need further guidance. Chaitya Guru is there definitely, and also that kind of association. Otherwise, sometimes we are seeing our devotees are going to other sampradayas or other gurus and taking shelter there, and or otherwise, even in the case of the Shraddha level also, reading the scriptures scrutinizingly. So we don't have such a place or forum where all the doubts can be clarified and analyzed and discussed and trained opportunities. So then people in the Shraddha level also, oh, they are getting the better clarification and going there other places. So this should not happen. We are doing hard work and bringing the devotees, and end of the day, so from our society, if they are not part of our society and not giving the association, and then it's not a good thing actually. We need to have all these varieties of the catering should happen, definitely.
Should there be course like Prabhu, like like introduction to raga bhakti, like how to that's
That's
because
definitely maybe yeah. And it should not definitely hide the Srila Prabhupada's mission. That is the only point we should take care. So that's a preaching mission should not be, that's a maturity, that kind of maturity should be there in that society, and also should be implemented. Otherwise, so in some part of the like Bhakti Rasam Sindhu's other three vibhagas are not at all touched and not discussed and not practiced at all. That's also then what then actually, that's also not good, no, actually.
Yeah, I think
So,
we are in such a stage that if we will launch a course like Raganuga Bhakti Introduction, that itself will cause a big problem in ISKCON.
yeah.
So we
Even who are there actually discussing is okay, anyway, we can do discussion, but really realized soul who went there really crossed the ruchi and asakti and went to do that stage, and raga stage, and whoever is doing practicing that person is really qualified to give the practical guidance.
Yeah, Prabhuji, what I am saying
Yeah.
that even openly talking about Raganuga Bhakti and all itself in ISKCON, people will start seeing, oh, what you are, whether have you associated somewhere else or something. They start doubting what.
Yeah.
That is the problem. We have to change it definitely.
Both should be, maturity is enough actually. That is the only main thing. Why Acharya is stressed? Because if you see other society, so much Prabhu cheating in the whole society, lot of cheating is going on. And people are really in the grossly, they are doing cheating, and they very fallen stage actually. So now expected thing is Acharya is seeing the present situation of the society, and he is a minimum expecting at least sadhana, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti if they do. Yeah, that will definitely some souls definitely they will be properly practicing and elevated, and they will be guiding. So like that's why they brought down the standards to such a level, even common people, that's needed for the common people, such a level they brought up. But if you see the teachings of the Goswamis, and but after that, if you see our parampara, how the slowly standards are coming down, and now we have ashram system. But if you see in the Goswami's time, there is no sannyasi, there is no grihastha, vanaprastha, grihastha, and brahmachari. No concept of this. No ashram rules also. Ashram rules also will make the heart so hard, and so discussing that, and the softness may go out. So that's why ashram rules also are not there. But without those rules, what is happening? So we have seen, we learned from the last 500 years in between. Well, that is also once again spoiling the whole culture actually. And such a negative feeling. Actually, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is so much concerned. So these Vaishnava culture became so cheap. They are eating meat, and they are doing they are smoking, and they are going with the woman, and it's completely, this Vrindavan is completely filled with this kind of apasampradaya, and completely it's so negative culture came actually. And Vaishnava is treated as a very cheap actually in the society. Then once again, Bhakti Siddhanta really raised the bar actually. Raised the bar, and these Vaishnavas are really very qualified, and they are so educated, and otherwise they were Siddha Pranali, this, that they are taking, and so artificially Sahajiyas, they are becoming Sahajiyas and dressing like gopis, and it's made such a high philosophy into so cheap, and used for the sense gratification. And that's why raised the bar once again. Hey, no, it's not like that. So now we will be sannyasi, vanaprastha, gruhastha, and marriage system. Everything is needed. And once again now your occupations also going in a such a is completely is sinful. Cow eaters, meat eaters. We are working under them, and they are ruling, and our consciousness is already affected by them. And once again, now Prabhupada is raising. So even this also we want, and do the simple life, and live the normally, and do the bhakti. So like that, because they see the time, place, and circumstance, and acharyas keep on adjusting again and again. Yeah, maturely we should preach. We should not, someone is really qualified and doing the devotion, raga bhakti, he should be also encouraged. Someone is in the low stage and he needs some kind of occupation, and also some kind of rules to stabilize his life. So that is also should be encouraged. Then we have to see the whole picture, and with maturity, if you respect the other service, then this society will grow nicely, and that kind of maturity is needed. Otherwise, if we firing the other services, and not identifying the role of the other services with the lack of understanding, then it will be a destruction. It will become sectarian once again, and divide the groups, and so it will be a problem for this society. If you don't have the combined force, there is a difficulty, bro. Definitely, we cannot fight with this other society. Now we have, you see, we are working as organization. Otherwise, what is the chance to have this kind of association? Because organizationally it happened actually ultimately, because we are working under one roof. So that's why we are able to connect ourselves. Otherwise, we are all individuals. So we cannot discuss also. No? So society we should protect. We should be ISKCON international society for Krishna consciousness. That is needed actually. That should be there. And so that if you, that is what all devotees are in association. What the meaning of society means? So maintaining the association of the devotees. That is the meaning of society. Yes, Prabhu. Okay. I am speaking already 11. Oh my God, 10:40. So Radharani Mataji also. You are, I think, weak, Mataji. You are not well. Your health is not good.
A little worse, Prabhu.
Okay, okay, Mataji. Take care. Okay, Vancha Kalpatarubi. I will be ending up here. So Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyo cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanand.
हरि हरि बोल, बोल हरि। वेणुगोपाल प्रभु जी की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।